Hey guys, it's Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel. So today we have a ship with me video. I really don't have all that many sales to ship out today, but I did have a couple higher price sales, and so I always like to share what sells for more. And I also did have some fast sales. So there were a couple higher price sales that I have already shipped out and were not featured in Ship With Me videos in the past that I did want to go ahead and mention. So the first one was a Frank and Eileen Harper Perfect Tee maxi dress that sold within like 3 or 4 days of being listed for $80. So that dress retailed for around $200. Frank and Eileen is a brand that retains its value very well. People are actively searching for it. It retails for a ton, and you definitely want to keep your eye out for Frank and Eileen, especially this time of year. Their linen button-up shirts, cotton shirts, closet staples, even if it's a basic piece, it will still sell really well. And the other item was a New at Tags Reese wool and linen blend Chelton blazer. That sold for $85. So Reese is another brand that does retail for quite a bit. I think it did really help out that blazer was New at Tags. It was really nice. Great fabric blend with natural materials, wool and linen. And yeah, so $85 was a great sale price. And now we will just go ahead and get into what I have here to ship out today. That Reese blazer I have had probably for like 6 months, but I did recently relist it. That is something that I also want to mention. I'm sure you all are aware, if you are active sellers on Poshmark, that Poshmark has recently come out with a new policy about relisting. The only thing that I have done differently is I have lowered the amount that I relist. So I've only ever relisted items that are 60 plus days old. And so I've basically always been in compliance with this policy that they have recently created for whatever reason. And so I didn't really have to change anything on that front, but I would usually relist batches of like 40 plus items. I have been relisting now like 5 to 10 items at a time just to go a little bit slower, and that's honestly fine. It just keeps a few items being relisted every day and supplementing the items that I'm listing for the first time ever. And I have had some items sell here that were recently relisted. So we will get into that. My advice with the new policy is just to only relist items that are 60 plus days old, and maybe 5 to 10 items at a time. Don't go crazy listing or relisting 50 items per day kind of thing. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into our sales. We are starting off with another higher priced sell for me. This is an Alice and Olivia leopard printed spaghetti strap mini dress. Really pretty. It kind of has a cowl draped front at the chest. I grabbed this at the bins probably like 6 to 9-ish months ago, and again, this was recently relisted. I also had another dress very similar to this by Aritzia, their Sunday Best sub-brand sell just the other day, and that was also relisted. So if you have any mini length leopard printed dresses in your closet, maybe go ahead and relist them because they seem to be selling very well right now. The Sunday Best dress from Aritzia sold for $29, and this Alice and Olivia dress I had listed at $72, but I was offered $61, which I did go ahead and accept. I was really excited about that, especially because I have had it for a while, and I did only grab this at the bins, so I only paid $1.50 for this. After Poshmark fees were taken out, my earnings came out to $48.80, and my profit was around $47 on this dress. So I would say the brand Alice and Olivia does tend to sit for me, unless it's like a super new piece or just really, really substantial, maybe like a cashmere sweater or something just really nice. But a dress like that does tend to sit, but then when it does end up selling, it sells for definitely a decent price. So that probably retailed for around $300. Okay, now we actually have another higher price sale. It is these UGG boots, Kookaburra by UGG. The Kookaburra line within the UGG brand was discontinued, and a lot of people did really like it. And so, you know, if you want a piece from this collection, you basically have to turn to the secondhand market. These I don't think were ever worn. They look brand new. I grabbed these from the Goodwill outlet probably like, I'd say 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. I would say they've only been listed a couple weeks. So relatively fast sale here. I knew that these would do well because usually when a brand or a sub-brand has been discontinued, people will mark or save searches. Like this, someone probably had these boots saved in their search, and then whenever someone listed them on a secondhand platform like Poshmark or eBay, they might have gotten an alert saying this pair of boots has been listed, because I really was not seeing many of these on the secondhand market at all. And so, you know, that does mean that they are more rare. You can charge a higher price kind of thing because they're not saturated on the market. So yeah, anyways, I was gonna say, I had something else. Oh yeah, another sub-brand or division within a brand that was also discontinued was Denim and Supply by Ralph Lauren. A lot of people really like that brand, especially the more substantial pieces like the Southwestern prints that are maybe like a wool blend kind of thing. So that's another line that has, you know, it's not around anymore. You can't get it on the retail market. And so if you do see it out thrifting and it's a substantial piece, I would highly recommend that you guys at least check comps on it and see how it's doing, because, you know, that's the beauty of the secondhand market, is when something is not available through retail, we are there to swoop in and provide that supply, and people can, you know, find it when they're looking for it. So these Kookaburra by UGG boots I had listed at $95 and I was offered $65. I did accept that. If we were going into winter, I probably would have held out for at least $75, but because we are entering summer, I didn't want to have these for multiple months, so I accepted $65. My earnings were $52. I did get these at the bins where I do pay per weight. We pay $2.49 per pound here in Houston. So I paid around $5 for these, and my profit was $47 on these boots. So I hope the buyer loves them. They are really pretty boots. Okay, now we have a jumpsuit. This was kind of a fail. I grabbed this at the Family Thrift Center outlet because it's Garnet Hill. It's a size extra large. It's that really soft, stretchy material that's very comfortable, and I thought the material plus the cut, it being a jumpsuit, would be really nice for like traveling or errands. This would be a great like plane outfit, like if you're on a plane, you're going to a destination kind of thing. It did have quite a few surface spots in the store. I got this at the Family Thrift Center outlet, and so the price was $2.50. I did see all of the staining at the store, but it looked like surface staining to me, and I was pretty sure that it would come out with just a quick wash, and it did. The surface stains came out, but it did still leave some staining behind. Like you can tell where they were kind of thing, so I guess they technically didn't come out. But yeah, anyways, and washing it made it a little bit faded. So I only listed it for $25. I basically just wanted to make my money back, and I was offered $14 after just a few days of being listed. I did accept that. Like I said, I was just trying to recoup my initial investment and maybe make a small profit. And so my profit in the end came out to $8.50. So made my money back and a small profit, which I'm happy with. I hope she likes it. But yeah, I really don't pick up flawed items too much. Obviously, I don't prefer to. And also, they just slow me down. Like, I would rather leave one item behind that's flawed and pick up 3 lower tier items that I can just go ahead and get listed quicker and make that profit, because I think about the time expense kind of thing with having to like wash it and, you know, whatever. But I did still get that even with the flaw, because it was a good brand, Garnet Hill, great size, extra large. It was a newer style. It was from like 2022 or 2023, again with the good cut. And yeah, I just figured that it had a lot going for it. Otherwise, I keep saying stuff, and then after I say stuff, thinking that I had a greater point that I was trying to make, but I don't really know what it was. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention that you guys are always asking me if I wash my clothes after I thrift them, and for the most part I do not, unless they, like that jumpsuit, really need it. After I thrift, let's say I thrift 20 items, I bring them to my apartment and I hang everything up. Everything gets steamed with my Jiffy steamer. It is a really nice professional grade stand-up steamer, and you know, they're getting steamed with boiling hot water, which does sanitize the clothing. I steam them really well inside and out, and yeah, that generally, you know, freshens them up. Obviously, it takes out the wrinkles, sanitizes them, gets them very presentable for photos and for resale. And yeah, I mean, if something does need to be washed, I will wash it if it has a surface spot or an odor. But really, I tend to just leave that stuff behind because, again, circling back, I don't like the time expense that goes into having to launder a bunch of stuff. So if I notice an odor, if it's an item that's not going to sell for more than like $30 or $35, I will usually just leave it behind, because I would rather pick up items that I can move faster with. Okay, now we have a 2-item bundle. Our first piece is this Easel Los Angeles, which is a boutique brand. Really cute boho printed kimono. It has the wide sleeves. And I also got this at the Family Thrift Center outlet for $2.50. I knew that I wouldn't make a huge return on this, but I figured that it would sell pretty quickly this time of year just because the print is so cute and the cut is very summery. Second piece is this American Eagle size medium striped wool blend sweater. I have actually had this for quite a while. It was recently relisted. I also have this in a size small, still in my closet. But yeah, happy to see this sweater go again, especially going into summertime. Someone bundled the 2 of these together and the bundle price came out to $53. They offered me $40, which I did go ahead and accept. I was very ready to move this sweater out. My earnings came out to $32. I paid $4 for both items, and so my profit was $28 on this bundle. So I'm going to grab my 1092 box. I just realized while I was prepping for this video that I need to order more boxes from USPS, so I need to try to remember to do that. I do have so much unlisted inventory right now. I have been shopping at the bins. It was really good for like a week stretch there, and I was able to get some really solid finds, so expect a bins haul to be coming soon. And I do already have 2 shop with me videos filmed that I need to get up, so I have lots to edit and list. Okay, now we have an Urban Outfitters dress. So this was also something that I have had listed for a while that was recently relisted and then sold. It is an Urban Outfitters dress. This was something that I debated on taking to Plato's Closet, but I thought that it was trendy enough that it would sell on Poshmark, and luckily it did. So Plato's would have paid me around $4 for this, but by selling it on Poshmark, my profit ended up being around $14. So happy I went this route. I made an extra $10, and it was a really fast listing. If this had been something that I'd have to take a while to steam and, you know, make presentable for listing, I probably would have just tossed it in the Plato's Closet pile. So I did receive this dress in a mystery box from Courtney over at Magnolia Thrifts here on YouTube, and I believe it was, yeah, it was definitely a box where she had shopped at Plato's Closet, like 90% off sale. And she just sent me all the items. Some were, you know, really, really good that I obviously listed and made a great profit on. But then there were some items like this that were, you know, on the lower end, and I made like a $10+ profit on. That was just one of those items that I was kind of on the fence. Do I want to send it back to Plato's? Do I want to list it? So I am happy that I did go ahead and list that and get a $14 profit. Okay, now we have another bundle, and it is of 2 pairs of shoes. First off is this USPS leather boots. This brand is sold at Nordstrom. It's definitely, like, I would say a more mid-tier kind of brand. It does retail for quite a bit, like definitely over $100 or $150. Like, I would guess these boots probably retailed at like around $150 would be my guess. And I received these in a ThredUp mystery box, where I typically pay around $5 to $6 per pair of shoes. So that's our first pair. And then second is these Vince Camuto leather peep toe heels. So both of these pairs of shoes were recently relisted. I've had both for, I would say, at least like 9 or 10 months. And so yeah, I am happy to see them go. When the 2 of them were added together, the bundle price came out to $76, and I was offered $50, which I did accept. My earnings were $40. I have around $8 in both of these, and so my profit came out to $32. So again, another couple items that I'm super happy to move out going into summertime and not see them sit all the way until we're back at boot season. Yeah, these summer months are really approaching. Here in Houston, it's already like 90 or 95 degrees out today. It's so hot. Let me see. 92 right now. So we are already feeling it here in Houston, which is not really a surprise. Okay, now we have a Free People top. This is really cute. It's kind of a more basic piece, but I did want to grab it from the bins because it is one of the newer Free People tags. I thought it would be a great spring summer top because of the color, the cut, and the material. It's 55% linen. So I definitely have been keeping my eye out for all things linen. They are selling phenomenally well for me right now, as they always do this time of year. I had this listed for $28. Someone liked it, and so my PosherVA sent them out a $25 offer with discount ship, which was accepted, making my earnings $17.68, and I profit around $16 for this shirt. On a lighter top like this, I probably paid like $1, $1.50 at the bins. I always do when I'm, you know, figuring out my cost of goods, or when I'm telling you guys my cost of goods, I always overshoot a little bit. So, you know, basically when I tell you my profit, that's sometimes it's a few dollars more kind of thing, because I'm always very conservative with my cost of goods estimate. Okay, next up we have another top. This is also a linen. This is actually 100% linen. It's an older Chico's tag, but I still wanted to get it because I loved the striped print as well as the cut and the material. It has a really fun multicolored striped print with mother of pearl buttons and a tie at the bottom hem. So this is like a quintessential summer top, especially with it being linen. I got this from the Family Thrift Center outlet, and this was something that I relisted like yesterday in a batch of 5, and this top sold immediately. But I have had it, I would say, for like 2-ish months now. I had it listed at $28. Someone liked it, and so my PosherVA sent them out a $25 offer with discount ship, which was accepted, making my earnings $17.68. And my profit around $15 on this top. So that's pretty much what I expected. That is why I do tend to leave sleeveless tops and tank tops behind, just because they really don't command that high of a price, just because they're not very substantial. But if they have a lot going for them, like that was 100% linen, which was the main sellable factor. Like I mentioned, really cute striped print, tie waist, mother of pearl buttons. Chico's is a brand that people search for. I did still want to go ahead and get it. Now we have a Lucky brand, size extra large, ombre printed top. And this, it's a velvet textured print in front, so that's nice. And this is also 55% linen, 45% cotton, so all natural. These little basic tops from Lucky, again, I know that they won't sell for a crazy amount, but they do sell really quickly for me and consistently. And so I do typically pick them up in sizes extra large and up. And this one had a lot going for it with the ombre print, the boho print, the size, the natural material, the condition. And this actually sold for full price of $30, which was awesome. My earnings came out to $24. This was a bins find. So I paid around $1.50 for it, and my profit was $22.50 on this pretty basic top. So I'm extremely happy with that. This was something that Melinda gave me at the bins. She's so sweet. She hands me stuff at the bins a lot, and I really appreciate it because it really helps to supplement what I'm finding myself. Okay, last couple sales here before I need to run down to the post office. We have this Free People overalls skirt dress type thing. Really cute. This is, I sound like a broken record, but also something that was very recently relisted. I probably put this up in like the winter time or colder weather, and it just needed to go into the just in category during the spring and summer months, which is now. So yeah, I had this listed at $30. Someone liked it, so once again, my PosherVA sent out a $27 offer with discount ship. That was accepted, making my earnings $19.28 and my profit around $17.28. Another bins find. So yeah, really happy with this sale. Do we think this will fit in an envelope? Yeah. I like to put the labels on when the envelope is flat, or else they tend to kind of come up. Alrighty, and our very last sale to ship out today is by the brand ATM, which is, it does stand for Anthony Thomas Melillo, Melillo, I believe. This is a pretty good brand. It has a high retail price. It doesn't always, you know, keep its values super great. and it does sometimes tend to sit, but if the piece is newer, like this was still selling online, and so I did want to get it. It also has distressed details. Basically, the brand does a lot of like updated loungewear kind of thing, like a lot of basics, and so yeah, they are kind of basic items, which I think is why they do sometimes tend to sit. But anyways, this piece was still selling online. Really cute, great color, distressed details. And so I listed it at 40. It probably retailed for around 100, maybe 130-ish. I was offered 30. I accepted that. My earnings were 24, and my profit was around $22.50. So yeah, my advice with this brand ATM would just be to check comps. And you know, I probably would not have picked this up at a regular Goodwill store, but at the bins, I will totally grab it. It's definitely a brand that people know. It's a reputable brand for sure. So with that, we are finished with shipping out my sales for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please feel free to leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, y'all.